gonna have any fights this week? Oh man, we gotta have some fights.
Hey, what is up, Raider Nation? It is the review or the reaction or whatever of week one. Yeah, we know it didn't go the way it was supposed to go, and it didn't look the way it was supposed to look, but we're going to talk about this on this episode. Is it panic time, or do we just stay patient? Which,
well, I guess, the main question is, right, is everyone still excited about Raiders football?
Is everyone still excited about Yeah, that's a big question. Everyone's like, jump ship, another year, like the meme, like from not the longest yard, but Water Boy. Oh, we suck again. So, but don't worry, everybody. Okay? Yes, exactly, Kate. Let's follow that mantra right there. Don't worry, everybody. It's only week one, so let's just relax now. And also, I just want to give a quick shout out to KDO, who did the music for our intro, where you hear during the intro video. His birthday was just this past Monday. So shouts out to KDO. Yes. Welcome to the year before the 40 Club, which I am currently residing in.
Man, I left that a long time ago.
All right. Well, before we do anything else, it is... Hold on. How do you turn off this music? Oh, there you go. Before we do anything else, let's go into our favorite subject, or segment, whatever. You know how it goes.
Whatever it's called, goddammit.
Whatever it's called. We call it the shameless plug. Here we go.
All right, everyone go to the YouTube channel, The Cage Match Show. Like, share, subscribe, give a thumbs up, hit that bell. That way you know every time that we drop a video. If we have any kind of interruptions because the NFL is trying to stop us, then you catch us on Facebook. First at the Oakland Raiders Savage page.
Hey.
Huh?
No, I said, hey, come on.
Or secondly, on Asylum.
Yes.
After the show's all done and you're ready to go and you're thinking about the next day, go to WGG. Get yourself energy. Go through, get what you want. They got a nice little starter pack in our little picture there to be able to try out their flavors. When you're done, in the discount code, put Cage Match, one word, to get 10% off your whole order. Go.
Your whole order. And remember, when you think of wins, you think of dubs. When you think of dubs, think of Dubby. Get that energy like Max Crosby, because he was still making plays out there. Go to a discount code, Cage Match, one word, put that in there, get 10% off w.gg.com. And remember, Raider Nation for life. Sorry. www.rn4lifer.com. Raider Nation for Lifer is what it stands for. Shouts out to the compa Fabian. He helped make a lot of our merch, or the cozies and the lanyards, which I will send them out. Just been a busy week. I will send them out to the people that I said I was going to send them out. But like I always say, but unlike today though, because they're all my hats, they're in another room and I didn't have time. But I usually wear hats only from Fabian himself. This one I bought at a regular store. It's the first hat I found. So
I didn't.
My
I
bad.
had this one made.
What? Say it again.
I said I had this one made.
Well, is it by Fabian?
No, I wish it was.
Yeah.
Then I could say the same thing, but
I mean, go to his website, www.rn4lifer.com. Check out his merchandise. He has great stuff. I'm going to order some stuff too later, because I know we got some new stuff coming out. He was out there in the LA, down in LA this past weekend, and that party they had over there at the Hollywood Bowl. And I know his booth was out there, so if you've been down there, you've seen his stuff, so make sure you go there. And also shouts out to RaiderMan19. Go to RaiderMan19.com. He is a big part of the show. You see him all the time at the end of our intro video. The Raider Man from Richmond podcast should be coming up soon. I know he is a busy man now, but he wants to get that going. So make sure you go there. He also has merch. He has the Oath merch, which is the Raider Oath that you hear also, like I said, at the end of the intro. Go there, and somehow, some way, we want to get him to the torch this season. I don't know if we'll make it by the third week, but we want to get him to the torch. Can you imagine him doing the Raider Oath in front of the torch in front of 65,000 people at Allegiant Stadium, getting it all fired up? The Oakland Mystique with the Las Vegas Raider Way merging together. The Mega Powers, oh yeah. So make sure we got to find a way to get Raider Man to the torch. That is the mission. That is the goal of this show. Because, like I said, he's been a big part of this show. So make sure you do that. And yeah. So we had a bad loss. And we want to talk about it. But
did you really?
I mean, we
covers and cry.
We have to. So, with that said, we do have a guest to come on. This is his first time coming on to the show. We met him on Captain Jack's show, but he also has his own page. So, and I don't have intro. Well, hey, just play whatever the cool songs that we have on there. So,
I don't know. I haven't. We'll just do this one.
All right, Here we go. RaiderTwuan and the Congression with his show coming on an hour from now at 6 o'clock. 2 for 1 Nation podcast. Let's introduce to you. Let me get the things ready. RaiderTwuan.
Hey brothers, how y'all doing, man? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody that's listening, and shout out to the congregation.
Yes. How you doing, RaiderTwuan? What is up?
Man, I can't complain, man. I know some people take the losses a little heavier than I do. But gotta keep moving. You win some, you lose some, but you fight to live another day. So we got another week ahead of us, but definitely we got to talk about week 1.
There's way too much football to be concerned about one loss. Definitely.
I mean, it feels like, when it's Christmas Day and you want that, that when you're a kid and you want that toy, like a Nintendo or a PlayStation, whatever age group you are, and you open that big box and you just find out it's a box of socks and underwear and some t-shirts, and you're like, how are you going to give me this big old box and it's just going to be clothes? I want the video game system, and you're going to give me just clothes and socks. How dare you? Nowadays, I'm all like, just give me some socks, please. But now I'm just going back in time, okay? That's what it felt like. Well, how do you feel watching that game, RaiderTwuan? Like, what was as you're watching the game, what was going through your mind? Like, what were you like? What was going on? I guess is my question.
You know what? I know that there's people that have been following the Raiders longer than I have. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the mid 30 section of life, but I had a feeling that things were going to turn out the way that it was going to turn out based on the first half. There's been so many times as a Raider fan, we have seen this team defenses, doing this job or vice versa, right? I said it to my brother Lunatic Raider from Raiders Allegiance. I said, it's a situation where we got peanut butter but no jelly. There was a period of time where our offense was carrying our team, and the defense for some reason couldn't stop anything. And now we're in a situation where our defense is stopping things and our offense is not moving forward. So I had an idea that the result was going to be the result because there was so many opportunities. It's like, if we just score right here in the first half, you know what I'm saying? I think we could start cracking some things open. But because the defense kept giving the offense them opportunities, and let's just give a shout out to AJ Cole punting the heck out of the ball all game, giving us good field position. The offense didn't complement the rest of the sides of the ball. And I tell my brother from the SC Raiders Talk, I get my popcorn out because I've seen this movie before. How many times have we seen, how many times have we seen this where if we, they say if you F around, you find out. And that's what we do. We shut them down, but then we F around on the offensive side. And then what happens at the end of the game? We find out.
Yeah, and that just seems like every year after the Super Bowl year, after 2002, we'll have a great offense, and then we'll have a bad defense. And then we'll have a great defense and no offense. But what stays consistent, our field goal kicker and our punter. And those are the only two players that usually end up going to the Pro Bowl at the end of the season. And it's been like that for the majority. When we have like receivers here and there and other players here and there go into the Pro Bowl. But usually that's our consistent. Our punter and our kicker has been the only position that we've been set for the last, almost 40, 50 years.
That just shows we know how to draft punters and kickers. You got to learn how to draft everybody else.
Yeah, we're a special team that knows how to draft special teams, So
I'm very at this time, as much as I watch not just the Raiders but the NFL, I'm kind of convinced that there's just certain teams that can draft well at a position, and I think if we could form Voltron and have our special teams with the Niners linebackers, and if we, what I'm saying, like if you start putting those, because it seems like I'm from the Bay Area, and I really don't like the Niners just because of their fans. But as I digress, there's just certain teams that it seems like every single year, whether it's in the draft or whatever, that it pops for them. And it seems like every year the Niners get a new linebacker that we didn't know about, and he's just so I'm just convinced that sprinkled all around the NFL, they just know how to draft certain positions, and I guess it's just us with special teams.
Yeah, and their GM being a former player, also like our head coach, not same team, but with John Lynch, for him to be able to draft like that. I know he has people too in scouts like Telesco does for us. But they did get lucky with Mr. Irrelevant. They did get lucky because they sent all them draft picks to get Trey Lance, who they ended up trading the following year because they had Purdy that emerged from preseason and just took the starting job because of injuries to that whole quarterback room just about. And he ended up never letting go of that position. And that's what we're trying to find, is someone that can take over our quarterback position. And we were talking about this on Captain's show last Wednesday, where, we're all, where's the graphic? We are all, there you go, Team Ramrod, because we believe in AOC, the quarterback. But, it's still too early to go and pull Minshew out. You don't want to go and pull Minshew out right away, because that's going to probably throw off, I don't want to say the chemistry, because they didn't show a lot of chemistry then, but just the confidence in this team. Let Minshew... What?
I was going to say, it's also going to show the team that you're panicking.
Yeah.
As a head coach, you can't show the team that you're panicking. If the team thinks you're panicking, especially after week 1, then they're going to panic and nothing is going to happen that needs to happen. Yes, Minshew looked like shit. I agree. I was calling for O'Connell before halftime. I'm not going to lie. My emotions were in that, and I was calling for O'Connell. I was like, this is shades of that game 1 preseason where he just looked like straight garbage, and it was just a continuation. You and me taught. He looked lost. He looked like he didn't have command of the offense at all. The offensive line, I don't know what their problem was, and that contributes to part of Minshew's problem. I'm not putting it 100% on Minshew, but, you have everything going. That offensive line has not had time to gel. I believe more than just Colton Miller was in there for the first time, for the season. You had players that were during preseason playing on the right side, now playing on the left side. So they got to get back used to, and people don't realize on the offensive line, it's not just as easy just to go from one side to the other. It's a whole different way. You got to move your feet and move and go. So there was a lot of moving factors in there. The run game was non-existent, partly because of offensive line, partly because I think AP handled it wrong and did not go with the hot hand, which was Matson at the time. Matson had the touchdown. He had the, it was going hot. He was going hot, and instead he went with Zamir White instead of what he said we were going to do with running back by committee and, stick with the hot hand. Running back by committee is the hot hand. Whoever is hot for that game is going to be the main guy.
Yeah, and I'm done. And, I mean, overall, you compare the two quarterbacks, Gardner Minshew statistically was a little better than Justin Herbert. Just the fact that he had that fumble where he tried to throw to his left, where he didn't have the ball, and he said that it was just a miscue. And I mean, that last interception that was thrown that basically ended the game. It was basically I don't want to say it was garbage time, but it was almost just about garbage time. But what do you think, RaiderTwuan, about Minshew, his performance on Sunday versus the Chargers?
You know what? And because you have this graphic up here, I think it's a wonderful situation. I think this is a lesson for a lot of people where you have a situation where it looks on paper that Minshew was a better quarterback, but I disagree. I think Justin Herbert was actually the better quarterback, despite whatever the numbers may say. I think the numbers that are with Gardner Minshew, again, when you look at the numbers, let's just say it like this. Say you didn't watch the game and you just looked at the stats. You're like, oh, Minshew played, fairly decent. Of course, he, has some turnovers or whatever, but he played fairly well as a quarterback. And when you're sitting there watching the game, that's not what you would say in regards to Gardner Minshew's play. Now, can we say it was the offensive line? Yeah, you can lean on that. But to be honest with you, this is a veteran. You know what I'm saying? I think he should be able to navigate in the roughest types of situations. The whole reason why we brought him, the reason why, we've talked about it before. The reason why we have him right now at quarterback is because he's a veteran and he has some legs. What kind of legs did he produce here? Was it I believe the last graphic you put up of the rushing, it shows Gardner Minshew and he's at what is that? 5 yards?
3, 5 yards.
Yep.
So, did he really use his legs? Did his legs really benefit him? Those are questions that you have to ask. But overall, just to bring it back down, I think Gardner Minshew played a very bad game.
Well, and we go even further on, on top of what you just said. If you look at just the stats, it looks good. And the only reason they look good is they're inflated because all he did was check down. And then he had a couple of his receivers, when he checked down, make big plays. Matson for that touchdown. That was just 2 yards, if I remember correctly, 2-3 yards for a pass. He, hurdled the guy and went in for the damn touchdown. There was a bunch of plays like that. They were just all checkdowns. And I agree with you about the legs, about the veteran. What was the biggest thing, which I think helped him get the starting job, that all you heard from training camp about Gardner Minshew? He started off day one, going in there and changing the play at the line. Did we see any of that during the game? I don't think we did. I think he called the play, tried to run with it, and looks scared. He didn't have, like I said earlier, didn't have command of the offense. If you have command of the offense, you could read the defense, change the play to a running play, to whatever needs to be done. Control your offensive line to block who you need to see who's coming up, to give you that little bit of extra time and sit there and be able to go. No deep balls. No, and I get he was under pressure a lot going, but you could start in the shotgun to be able to do some of this shit, to give you that little bit of time and throw. I mean, timing plays. You let Trey Tucker just run. You get it? You take 2 steps back and you launch it. Trey Tucker's going to get underneath that ball. Why didn't we see anything like that? Why didn't we see play calls when he saw something that was clearly not going to work in a pass and change it to the run and get those 5 yards that we could have got?
And also, with the Tucker situation, whether he completes it or not, you throwing that deep pass puts something in the defense's mind to think that you will be able to throw the deep pass. And because you didn't throw the deep pass, everybody defensively sucked in. So even if our running game was, even if our offensive line cracked the gap and our running back was able to, get to the second level or so, everybody sucked up. So you're not really going to get a whole lot of yardage there. One of the things that frustrated me, because I talk about it on my channel and one of my shows is called The Game Plan. One of the things I talked about in order for us to have success this game was to attack the middle of their defense, attack the middle of the field. And there was a lot of situations and improving a couple of times where the completed pass, where was it? In the middle of the field. Then there was other opportunities where Bowers is sitting right in the middle of the field and you don't hit him. So it's like,
same thing with Devontae Adams. There was Devontae Adams open at times. Trey Tucker was open at times, but he kept going straight to the check down. It was like he did his progressions, but he did it in one big sweep just to get to that check down and get the ball out. Whether he was scared, whether he was uncomfortable. I know a lot of people have called out and bitched and said, play calling out Luke Getsy. I want to go further on this and say, was it the play calling or was it execution? I don't think it was the play calling. We don't know what exactly was going to happen with the play calling because the execution wasn't there. If you can't execute, then you're going to turn around and blame the play calling? No, we need to execute the plays that are being called and be able to go. And Minshew just showed that he was going straight to the check downs, and I think that was the biggest thing. I don't think it was the play calling because plays that did work, they were great.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think, it's too early to say, oh, Getsy's offense is horrible, especially when there was a lot of meat left still, there was still a lot of meat left on the bone. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be one situation if we were executing, whatever was given to us and it nothing was breaking anything open. But when you have a situation where there's people wide open and you're not hitting them, then that's not on Getsy. That's on execution. And again, the execution also is up front with our offensive line. And we know there were struggles there. And I can go for 2 hours specifically on our offensive line, every position in regards to what they did that game.
Yeah, and I had said this. I had said this on our show last week that the key to victory for this game was going to be the offensive line, being that Colton Miller was coming in cold. He didn't have any reps in the preseason because of that shoulder. I think he was activated off the PUP list right before or right after training camp ended. And then you have Whitehead, who is taking the spot of JPJ, who is out still with an illness. I think that's what they had him as an illness on this last injury report. So the offensive line was going to be key into the Raiders' victory, especially with the two ends that the Chargers have in Bosa and Mack on the edges. But they got a lot of push. That defensive line for the Chargers got a lot of push up the middle, which is the quickest lane to the quarterback. Even Parham missed on some inside blocks on a passing situation that got Minshew sacked, or not sacked early, but sacked real quick, and then maybe made him lose confidence in the protection of the line. But that's why I had said last week that the offensive line was going to be key, and the offensive line didn't really show up all that well. And that's why maybe like the running plays, like with White trying to go up the middle. I know he has to get his pad level lower, but when they try to go up the middle, he was getting stuffed on those 4th and 1 plays, or the 4th and 1 play, a lot of the 3 and 1. And I know that's one thing that you want to talk.
I mean, the run game period was it was non-existent. And yes, you could put the run game on the offensive line. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, because I was in a transition.
Oh, I was just saying, you can put it on the offensive line. Yes, the running backs should be able to bounce out. There was a couple of holes that there was one where, if I think it was Zamir White, would have cut instead of running directly into the pile, would have been different. He needs to get his eyes open and going. But, I mean, all 3 phases of the offense just wasn't there. The quarterback wasn't there, offensive line wasn't there, and the run game wasn't there. And, you need the run to help open up the pass. You need the pass to help open up the run. And that comes with a quarterback that can change the plays at the line, though. I think, if you want to put, you put 50% of it on Minshew, you're going to put 40% on the offensive line, and that last 10% on the running backs when it comes to the anemic offense.
And to be honest with you, I don't blame Zeus, and I don't blame the running backs, because when you look at the statistics on the running back average, they all ran about the same. Everybody ran 3, all the running backs ran 3 pretty much 3 yards a clip. So if it would be different if Madison was a 5.3 and then Zamir White was a 3.4, but in this situation everybody was getting that. So it wasn't, can I really blame the eyes? Yeah, there might have been a few that they left out there, but when everybody's averaging the same amount, what allows them to get those yards? It's the offensive line. And I think that was another reason why a lot of people, and I think this is where you were going to go, Savage. That's another reason why I'm not mad at AP for punting the ball on 4th and 1 in the situation. When you look at how poor we were converting our 4th downs and our 3rd downs, do you really think offensively that was something to actually really hang our hat on? Of course, yeah, it was a 4th and 1 situation, and we were on their side of the ball. But you're telling me when we had a defense pretty much all game, shut down the Chargers on 3rd down. I believe it was like in the first half, they were like 0-7 on 3rd down. That's amazing for a defense to lock down an offense like that. So when I'm thinking of AP as a head coach, am I going to really go off of this offensive line where Andre James is the center of this offensive line and he's getting blown back and letting people slide under his guard? Or am I actually going to punt this ball, try to get short distance, because we have a good defense that has been showing this game? I'm not saying all over, through games past. I'm talking about this specific game. The defense was locking them down. So I'm not mad. I can't be mad at it. Now, some people may throw the whole 3rd and 1, you know what I'm saying, when we were on our 30 and he decided to go. I believe in, and this is my Raider gospel in the situation. I think that Antonio Pierce was actually giving the offense the benefit of the doubt. He was saying, hey, I trust you to get this 1 yard. I trust you. Prove it to me that you guys can get it done. And then as the game continued to fold by the 4th quarter, what confidence did we really have in this offense? None. So for those that may be feeling like we should have went on 4th and 1, I felt the smarter play was to pick, to punt it off and see what this defense can do. Now the minus of that situation is that the defense has been on the field for a long period, been on the field more than the offense. So can we say that, they were tired at that moment? We could say that, but there was a lot of gap discipline at the end where it seemed like they got a little lackadaisical. But I wouldn't be mad at AP for the decision he made. I think he made the right decision based on what he saw specifically in that game. Now, if there was a situation where the offense was cooking and they was doing their thing and the defense sucked, then okay, let's flip that. Let's go 4th and 1 and let's go ahead and get it done. But again, AP, and I've said this multiple times, I feel like a broken record on this. I believe AP as a head coach. He's a coach, but he's also a Raider. And he knows that the motto is just win. So no matter what the situation was, he's going to just win. And he felt the best way to win this game is to give it to the best side of the ball of the game. And that was our defense.
Yeah. And, that was what the adjustments he did last year, especially against the Chiefs last year in on that Christmas game in KC, where we're going to run the ball and have our defense stop the run. Our defense stop Mahomes and our offense. We're going to run the ball to control the clock, and then the best defense is to keep Mahomes on the sideline. And then when our defense does come out, we've been stopping everybody, so I trust my defense. And it's like almost like the same situation he's doing now, where what he has to do now until this offense starts picking up is he's just trying to win somehow, some way, whether how ugly it looks or whatever. Like you said, just win. That's the mantra. Let's just win. And that's what he was trying to do, because I was going to go back to the beginning of these highlights. That 4th and 1 play, you see right here, they're going 4th and 1, 6 minutes in the first. Zamir White got stopped like 2 yards behind line of scrimmage. And if you see on the replay right here, the offensive line was just getting blown back into the backfield, whereas Zamir White didn't really have that momentum to break through because they're already right at him when he was trying to get to that hole. So I think that right there was basically the afternoon right there with the offensive line is they were just getting pushed back, and it's kind of hard to call offensive plays and figure out what's going to work when your offensive line can't hold off blocks, can't push blocks, can't down block or whatever. And I think that's what made AP go with a kicking game, whether it's a field goal on the 14 or this right here that he's getting criticized for, this 4th and 1, because the offense just couldn't do it. And when you still had 7 minutes, 7+ left in the game, and the game was only by 6, you still had a chance. You still had time to play the field position game. And I think that's what led to the decision of him, how everyone is saying he's playing safe. But it's like it's more, I'm playing smart because my defense has been keeping us in the games. Our offense has not taken off yet. And I got to go with what I know, and it's our defense who I trust. And it just didn't work out. And it was one of those things where it's like you're the smartest person in the room if it works, and you're the coward or the stupidest or whatever people are saying on social media and all that. When it doesn't work, it's a damned if you do and damned if you don't situation.
I Oh, go ahead, Tom. Go ahead.
And don't fall for the average. You know what I'm saying? We just showed the rushing averages of the 3.4 and the 3.8 of our the two running backs that we kind of used the whole game. But don't fall for that average, because I'll say this. There's two different ways you run. You're running just a regular offense, or you're running when everybody knows in the stadium, even the players know that you're running the ball. And in those 4th and 1s and in those 3rd and 1 situations, everybody knew we were going to run the ball. So when you have everybody knowing that you're going to run the ball, it's even harder to get that 1 yard. So, and especially like we've been saying, how poor this offensive line again. The weak link of our offensive line is right in the middle of our offensive line. So what that even makes it more worse, because when you think about a 4th and 1 run, or even a QB sneak type of situation, it's really predicated on how well that center can get a push to allow the quarterback or whoever to finish off the play. And Andre James, I'm gonna save the name for my other show, but Andre James is playing very piss poor, and that was the reality of the game. So AP, I'm not mad at AP rolling with what was hot, and the whole game between our offense and our defense was the hottest thing.
Oh, yeah. It definitely was, and I agree that at that time that AP had to make the choice. Even though I was yelling to go for it and everything, I don't blame him for the choice because of what you saw in the offense, not being able to do everything. And you were hoping that the defense would get a stop, get you decent. I mean, they kicked it within the 10-yard line right there. We saw it. So you're thinking they get a stop, give us great field position, and give us the last chance to win the game. And then, you want to go back to Andre James. What's a center's job? Before snapping the ball, his job is to call out the blocking scheme. That's the center's job. The quarterback can change some things and talk about, okay, Mike this, whatever's going on. But the center's job before anything is to call out the blocking scheme. And yes, our whole offensive line is more athletic, smaller, and it's supposed to be more for the zone blocking and everything else. And they didn't get a chance to do that. They were dealing with power rushing, and they couldn't, as somebody said, they couldn't stop the win if it, needed to be done at the time, which trickled down. But then again, play calling, or I'm sorry, not play calling, but this is where Minshew could have changed the play at the line to something that was more, more feasible, or he could have changed the play, moved back into a shotgun. There was so much more that could be done going into this that, yeah, I don't blame AP, and I don't blame Getsy in this. I think it came down to execution, and on the offense, we failed to execute, left our defense on the field too long. I mean, we stopped the run. We, like you said, 3rd down. I believe you were right with 7 stops on 3rd down. Our defense was doing its job, but you leave the defense on the field, what happens? They get gassed. I don't care who the defense is. They get gassed, and then they end up, they were able to run the ball on us. They were able to get the thing. They were able to get that last touchdown because our defense was just too gassed. And AP was just hoping for, one more great play, one more great stop. And it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, if you take a look at the receiving numbers, because I still had that graphic, Brock Bowers got some action. So we seen our 1st-round draft pick get some action, and he was finding his way open and making some plays. RaiderTwuan, for everyone saying that we should have drafted a quarterback or whatever, I know this showing right now with Minshew kind of points that meter towards that way. Mm. But how did you feel about Brock Bowers in his NFL regular season debut out there?
I think in regards to quarterback situation, there was really no quarterbacks out there that was really going to do really much, you know what I'm saying, as a starting quarterback. I think a lot of the guys at that time weren't we would have been mad at drafting, a quarterback that could have been in a later round. They got Brock Bowers, and I was excited about that pickup, even though it in the beginning it almost, on the top of your head, it's like doesn't make sense because we had Michael Mayer, but the two tight end set brings a lot of problems to defenses. Now it's up to Getsy and this team to exploit those things. And there was a lot of opportunities that Brock Bowers did, and he actually, he got his catches. He did well, but there was a lot of other, like I said, there was a lot of meat on the bone in regards to Brock Bowers. I saw a lot of opportunities where he could have, caught the ball in the middle of the field and stuff like that, where his yardage would have went up. But I think we have, honestly, I think we have the best two tight ends in the league, in regards to, young tight ends in the league, and they're only going to get better. I think Brock Bowers, as time goes, I think they still might be kind of easing him in, we've seen some couple of, exotic things in practice and, stuff like that. But I think he did well for his first game, based on the situation at hand.
I'll agree with that. And you did see a lot of 3 tight end sets out there. If you actually paid attention, they were bringing in tight ends to help block because the offensive line wasn't able to do their job. And, we need to get away from that because that takes another receiver off the field when you bring in 3 tight ends in to block, to be able to try to give the time, unless it's strictly a running play that you're trying to get done and get going. But, I agree. Bowers, I love the pick. At first, everyone was saying, what the fuck? But he was top 2 players when it comes to talent on the board, if not number 1. And he fell to you on 13, you take it. I agree. Top, the best tight end group in the fucking league. I mean, this has a chance of being shades with when Brady had Hernandez and Gronk. And this could be that exact kind of same thing going when when everything starts gelling. And that's the main thing is this offense, I don't think has had the time to gel quite yet. And to the people who think the sky is falling just because we lost 1 game, you got a lot of football coming. Let this offense start gelling. Let's see what happens. I don't know if Minshew's the answer. We are Team O'Connell on this, on this channel, and I want to see O'Connell, but I'm not going to say O'Connell could have done better in this. I'd like to see more out of Minshew. I want to see the leadership out of Minshew that this veteran presence is exposed to bring, and maybe, just maybe, we'll see it here with the Ravens, and maybe we squeak out a win with the Ravens that we were supposed to not have, and go back to where we should be and be 1-1 by the end of week 2.
And that, possible. That would be a typical Raider thing. We lose to the teams that we should beat, and we beat the teams we should have lost to.
Yeah. And that's why the NFL always giving us a harder schedule because, like, come on, Raiders, we want you to be up there. The NFL is not the same without, unless the Raiders are winning, because now it makes everybody else competitive, or makes it more interesting when the Raiders are out there stealing victories, going to the playoffs like the old school ways. What is your going into this game against the Ravens? I know they have a good defense, but everyone is focusing on Lamar Jackson. I know we beat him in 2021 on that Monday night opener. It went to overtime, but what is your thoughts going into this coming week out in Baltimore?
I think this is a threesome, and let me explain that. The Chargers, they play the same style that the Baltimore Ravens play for the most part. But in reality, when you look at the Ravens, they're pretty much like us. They have 2 good tight ends, Likely and Andrews. You know what I'm saying? The only difference is, obviously they got Lamar. They got one real good wide receiver, Flowers. He would be our, he would be like their DA situation. So they're similar to us, and I think honestly they will want to run the ball. I think this might be this might be where we really got to strap it up, because I don't think because I watched the Ravens play last with against the Chiefs, and Derrick Henry didn't look like Derrick Henry. Now, is he going to look like Derrick Henry against us? That's the question. So, and they're also a physical, tough, kind of like how our defense is, tough, stingy. That's how they play. So, it's going to be a slug out, but
I think it's going to come down to containing Lamar Jackson to win that game. You got to be able to contain Lamar Jackson. If you can't contain Lamar Jackson, then that game's going to be over and over quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, of course, going to the East Coast, the Raiders do have a bad history of pulling out victories on the East Coast with the 3-hour time change. So AP had said in his press conference that they're starting practice 3 hours earlier to try to acclimate their bodies for the East Coast time change. And, of course, with their defense and the way our offense have played, I think that, well, I want to say I think that, I guess I hope that they can make the adjustments to play better. I mean, they are working on that right now, but I mean, like, where it shows on the field and where Minshew, because he looked a little like he when they kept showing his eyes on the camera, he just looked
defeated.
Defeated. I want to say scared, but I just want to say he just didn't have that guard dog confidence like he had when he played against us last year with the Colts. So it's all going to be on him, on Minshew, and his confidence level with this offense and this offensive line for the Raiders to move the ball downfield. They were comparing this last Charger game to the Minnesota game of last year where we lost 3-0 because of how inept the offense was. But I think if the defense, like you guys said, can contain Lamar Jackson, because when it came down to it against the Chiefs this past weekend, he had a wide open Zay Flowers in the back of the end zone. He threw it way behind him, and then he had that one where they could have won by a toe, literally by a toe, and they lost it. But he was off on some of those throws where he had to throw it. So if they could just keep him contained where he can't run wild like he likes to do, I feel we have a good chance from the defensive side to at least keep the game at bay. It's just the offense has to show up and make some plays. If the running game can go and kill that clock and keep him on the sideline, Jackson on the sideline, that'll be a good game for me. Of course, I want the win, but right now, because this is a new offense that we're trying to instill and people are panicking, I want to ask you one last question because I know you got to go real soon. RaiderTwuan, is it time to panic, or do you still have patience?
You know what? I'll say it like this: there's no time to panic, but I definitely got, like I say on my show, I definitely got the side eye emoji on a few areas of the ball. I got the side eye on the offensive line, specifically. Some names, two names specifically. But I'm patient. I'm patient. I'm gonna do exactly what our head coach said. I'm looking at this quarterly. I'm gonna look at the first 4 games. That was the first game. Let's see how he comes out the second game. I think out of these slots of games, like I said earlier, I felt the Chargers and the Panthers were our winnable games. But he's gonna have to make up some ground, and we'll, we'll see. We'll definitely see. But I definitely have patience. I'm not worried about that. Now I have a question for you guys, because you guys you brought a question up. I mean, you brought Savage. You brought up something. In Asylum, you said the same thing. You said he was scared. You said he was flustered and all that. Do you think that's why he didn't do the ending game press conference? Because typically the head coach and the quarterback are the ones that go up to the podium after the game. Do
No,
you think? Do you think
no,
that's
no.
why?
He did. He went out there. He went out there.
Okay.
The Raider press conference at the end, they had some bad audio, so I don't know if the Raider YouTube channel fixed it where they rebroadcast it after. But I was just watching that today. His post came after the game where they asked him questions about what happened, and especially that fumble where he threw the ball to that backwards lateral. So no, he was there, but and he was back to his cool self. But just during that game, he just looked like he did against that Dallas game in the preseason. Where he was like, okay, that was me. Okay. Now if you know that, let's just come on. Where's that guard dog at? But like I said, Silent, do you want to say one last thing real quick because he has to go?
Oh, I was just going to say he's got to play like he's not afraid of losing his job, because that's how it looked when you think about it. He was trying to be conservative. He was trying to get everything going. He did the checkdowns to get the stats. Stop playing like your job depends on it and just play fucking football. That's what you were brought in for. Your veteran status for being in the league for 5 years and being able to do all this. Prove all the people who are on your side right, because right now he's not proving them right.
Yes, and with that said, I know RaiderTwuan has to go and start his show, which is about to start right now. So we want to thank RaiderTwuan for coming on to the show. We appreciate you being our guest and talking about this week one, whatever you want to call it, this game. So make sure his show's about to start. 2 for 1 Nation podcast. Go to RaiderTwuan. The channel, I have the banner up right there. Make sure you go there. And a lot of the guests that's on the show was from this channel, so we want to thank everyone on RaiderTwuan's channel for catching our show. Make sure, help us out. Subscribe to the channel real quick. Subscribe to the channel right there. Oh, that's not it. That's W. Go to W2. But make sure you go to the channel, the Cage Match Show. That's right now. And subscribe. And we want to thank Antoine for coming on. Well, I'm not trying to make you run late, but we appreciate you, Antoine. And whenever you want to come on again, you let me know, and we'll get you back on again. Thank you very much. Let's get the audience going.
Hey, just hit me up on IG, man. I'm always available to talk Raider football with my brothers. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to be on your panel. Again, congregation, like they said, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Show some love to my brothers here, and I'll see you guys in a couple of minutes.
All right, then. Take care, Antoine. Peace out, and go Raiders. Let's go.
Raiders.
I was trying to do a smooth transition right there, and we're back. Oh, my God. It's like magic.
It's magic.
I know how to work a StreamYard. You know what I'm saying? We want to thank Antoine. Make sure you go to his page. The RaiderTwuan and the congregation and his show with SC Experience. I think that's about to start right now. And thank you, audience from this channel, for coming and checking us out. Like we said, make sure you go on there, subscribe, help us out. Subscribe to our channel, The Cage Match Show. Go there, give us a like, give us a subscribe. You see all the hard work we do on this show to try to give graphics and information and all that kind. And we would have more highlights. It's just that the NFL keeps trying to shut us down. And I tried to find ways to get around the system like a Raider way. Sorry, here we go.
And right here, I just want to comment on Raider and Lisa's comment right here. The Queefs play Cincy. Cincy could beat the Queefs. They got the team to be able to do it. Just because they lost to New England in week 1, that kind of puts that hunger. They know they shouldn't have lost that game, and there's a chance they can come out and beat the Chiefs. And let's just take it, one game at a time. Even if we go down 2 games in the, to start the season, it's fine. There's plenty of football left. The sky ain't falling. It's okay. It's not falling yet. I haven't had an acorn hit me, so yeah, I'm going to say it's not falling yet.
Like Ice Age, you haven't had no acorn falling yet?
I haven't been hit in the head yet, so we're good.
Okay, well, let's since we're talking about this game, it's a new staple on the show, which we like to call the X screen. So, Asylum, I'm gonna need you to help me with the music, and we're gonna play NFL Primetime song number 1, and I will get the screen ready. So here we go. Not yet. So here we go with when the X screen opens up, then you play it. So here we go. X screen. Here we go. All right there. Here we go. First quarter. The Raiders were all over Justin Herbert, and right there. Max Crosby gets that sack, which we're going to show you some history he made on that sack right then and there. Gardner Minshew hands off to, I believe that was Zamir White. They just could not move the ball on this play right here.
That was the fourth one that went for it.
This is the fourth one we were talking about as we showed the highlights earlier. The offensive line just kept getting pushed back. What do you think of Solomon real quick?
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, that's what it was. I mean, the offensive line was struggling all game. Gardner Minshew was struggling all game, which led to the running game struggling all game. Have it so.
Raiders get the ball up on downs, and the Chargers were able to capitalize with a field goal right then and there. Oh, that's kind of loud right there. All right, Raiders have the ball back. Minshew goes back to pass, and he finds an open Davante Adams. You got to feed Davante Adams before everybody else starts having shows that talk about he wants to get traded. So let's make sure we feed Davante Adams to keep him happy, right? I guess. So he goes back to him again. So this is Davante Adams' offense coming from Green Bay with Luke Getsy. But but here's the touchdown right here. Asylum to go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, what are you seeing there though with Minshew starting in the shotgun? He was able to complete passes to Adams. He was able to do, this play here. It worked out. It was a little shorter, but with him starting in the shotgun, he was able to go and give the offensive line enough time to give him time to be able to get, more than just a couple yards.
Chargers with the ball back. Oh, sorry. Chargers with the ball back. They go downfield, but right there, Spillane stops them on that third down play for them to get the ball back to the Raiders on a punt. Gardner Minshew going deep. Finds, there you go, our number 1 draft pick, Bowers. There you go right there. Raiders are going downfield. I hear your buzzer going. I think they found you, Asylum. But Minshew gets sacked right then and there. Was that you or was that me?
That was me.
No, that was you. That was you. The Raiders take care of business right there on defense. The defense was showing up to this game. They were making plays left to right on this first quarter.
Y'all had the word.
Right here. And that was the play that...
I don't know what happened there, but, I mean, you saw the look on Minshew's face when they showed it. I mean, he knew he fucked up and going, I don't know what the hell he was trying to do. But, I mean, that's kind of if you think about it, we gave them short fields 3 times, and they scored points 3 times.
Yeah, and right there led to
and that missed field goal that we got the missed field goal instead of missing it, make that field goal, take those points away they got on all 3 short field situations that we gave them, and we win this game.
Yes, and on that halftime, quick little stats right there. The Raiders allowed only 83 yards of total offense with the Chargers on 23 plays. The fewest allowed in a first half since 2019. 75 yards versus the Jags, 12, 15, 19. Who was the quarterback on that team?
Minshew.
Oh my God, it's crazy how the NFL. Gardner Minshew was on that team. Unfortunately, we lost that game. That was the last game in Oakland in 2019. But the Raiders allowed the fewest yards since then, 75 yards versus the Jags on December 15th, 2019. Those are key little nuggets in the first half. Now, let's open up the second half highlights right here. Oh, she just love X screen. I'm watching right now. We haven't been shut off.
Yeah, no, I've been watching too, trying to anyway.
Minshew with the ball. Raiders get the ball. Minshew trying to run, and this is how it's been. He just hasn't got no yards on the speed. Got stopped on the line of scrimmage. Chargers get the ball back, and there they go. The defense is getting tired, and their running game for the Chargers starts opening up. I believe that is Dobbs, who I was going to draft, but he's always getting injured, and all of a sudden he wants to have a game against the Raiders. They go and turn that into a field goal. It's a close defensive game, 7-9. Raiders get the ball back, and this right here is another mistake. You can't keep dropping the ball on the ground. Asylum.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that was huge right there. I mean he was having a good run going, to drop the ball and give them field position again. They just kicked that damn field goal and was able to march down the field with going. That should have been a pick. I mean, that was so close. I'm not blaming the player. That could have been a pick, though. It just happened to just go. I mean, that was, it was so fucking close. I thought it was at first. So right there, you see it hit the ground. That could have changed the game right there going. We lost the turnover battle, and that's plain and simple.
Yeah, right there was a very close one. If we didn't have instant replay, that would have been an interception, even though that was third down. So they ended up punting to the Raiders. Raiders have the ball back, and now Zamir White is starting to come alive, going through the hole. Here's another play right there. Zamir White going through the hole, gets that first down right there. Right here, Minshew goes back to pass, finds a wide open Devontae Adams. He has something to prove in his game, but it led to a field goal.
No,
This is the missed field goal. Yeah, Mr. Automatic on his first game missed that field goal. Chargers get the ball back, and they end up scoring right here on a run play. As you can tell, the defense has just been getting worn down throughout this game. That power running game that Harbaugh brings to the table started wearing down the defensive line of the Raiders and the Raiders front. Raiders get the ball back. Minshew goes to throw. Finds, I believe that is Brock Bowers again. Brock Bowers was making plays. Minshew goes back to pass. Tries to run, tries to make something happen. Two guys in the same area, but right there, Myers.
That's a Raider staple right there.
Right there. A little receiver screen. Myers goes down, takes it a yard before the line of scrimmage. The line of scrimmage, the first down marker, and we go for a field goal because there just wasn't a lot of confidence in the offense. Raiders eventually get the ball back. Minshew goes back to pass. That little short pass right there led to the controversy of how come we didn't go and go for it on 4th and 1. Asylum, take it over.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it did, but I believe this was a thing. Yeah, Devontae Adams is open right there, close to the first down. Trey Tucker right behind him. I mean, that's the thing with the check down. We had opportunities in this game. Minshew had time. It wasn't every play that he was, under duress, but Minshew, like I said, Minshew looked like he was playing for his job. And that's not how he needs to play. We got to see, we had some mistakes. We did have Snowden go off sides, early in the game. Earlier in the game, the defense allowed this to happen. Yeah, they ran him down. But, it was still, you can rely on the defense, but you got to give them time to catch their breath and everything. And if you can't do it in the run game, you have to be able to look further downfield, and I don't think Minshew's eyes were going downfield. He was looking short every fucking play he was passing.
And right there, they ran the Dobbs was running all over the Raiders on that second half. They ended up scoring right there on that pass and going for that 2-point conversion. The Raiders stuffed them, but we will show this later, but this is when all that ruckus happened in the back of the end zone, which got Jack Jones ejected, plus number 4 for the other team. I forgot who his name was. Doesn't matter. And right there, Minshew just tried to throw the ball, got tipped, and there you go, the end of the game.
Hey, it's bad when an offensive lineman gets the goddamn interception.
Yeah, it was just one of those games that the Raiders, especially in SoFi, they just can't. They're just unable to win games. And right there, hold on, let's do this. Right there is X Screen. Thank you, everybody, for watching X Screen. How do you turn this off? Oh, yeah, turn off X Screen. There you go.
You know
So,
how to do it. You wanna
I
put it
knew
up?
how to do it. I knew how to do it. So, right there, those are your Raider highlights for this game. Thank you, X Screen, for keeping
I wanna
us.
call it. Yes, thank you, X Screen, for not getting us over to the NFL desk and getting a shutdown this time. Alicia kind of let us down. I haven't seen her in here saying we're still live, so you know what? We need our first
on the field reporter.
Yeah, we get shut down and shit.
So with that right there, NFL Week 1, the Raiders lose to the Chargers 22-10. And it's also a division game, so that's never a good thing either, because now you lose ground in the division, the AFC West. But if you look at the numbers, the total yards were fairly close. The Raiders had more passing yards than the Chargers, but with the running game the Chargers were able to find in the second half, they didn't need to pass it as much.
Come on.
Say that again?
Yeah, them getting 176 yards rushing. Come on. I mean, that was almost a 200-yard rushing game.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be able to stop that shit.
And if
you go look at the other shit. They had us on yards per play, with 5.9, but we had more first downs. Our third down efficiency was better than theirs. Fourth down, yeah, we failed there. The one time we did it, they didn't do any. We had slightly more plays. Sacks allowed, that hurt us. We punted less than they did. Penalties, 2 versus 7. I mean, we should have done there. But then it comes right here. This is the biggest 2 sets of numbers right here. We won time of possession, which is what you want. But 2 fumbles lost and an interception thrown. And truly, that's why we lost the game.
Yeah, the turnover battle is always going to kill you because, like you even said, we only had 2 penalties for 15 yards because that fight in the back of the end zone was offsetting, though we lost a player for that game. There has been no rumors on suspension, so Jack Jones should be out there in Baltimore to go against the Ravens.
I heard there should be no more penalties for either team. The ejections was more than enough. There'd be no fines and no suspensions for either team.
Yeah,
so I heard.
So I guess the NFL is being nice to us Raiders.
Yeah, right. It's going to come down later. 3 weeks from now, he'll get suspended. Oh, we should have suspended him that game. You guys have been winning, so right now we don't want you to win.
We're going to do the Draymond rule in that 2016 2016 finals. We're going to do the Draymond rule. We're going to go and rule something on an off day. Or like what they were trying to, I don't want to say threaten us, but when Devontae pushed that cameraman at the tunnel and then they kept hanging that over our heads, they were all like, well, it could happen. The NFL is checking on and looking at it and seeing, and he wants to sue and da-da-da, and whatever happened to that? Nothing. It was a settlement. He just wanted some money. Not going to blame him, but nothing happened. So don't fear the NFL.
Hey, maybe I should sue the Chiefs for the way they treated me at their stadium.
Last year, they wouldn't let you wear nothing over there.
Nothing, I swear.
Nothing, I swear. And we talked a lot about
Jack Jones. If I was in my gear, I tell you.
We talked about this with RaiderTwuan, but let's go through it again. Minshew, 25 for 33. Catches to attempts, 257 yards, a touchdown, and you saw at the end he had that interception that basically ended the game. Average of 7.8 yards, passing yards. He had 4 sacks, and then on one of the drives right there, right near the goal line, within the red zone, he had 2 back-to-back sacks, what resulted in a field goal and not a touchdown. So 4 sacks for 32 yards. He had lost that fumble in the second quarter, that backwards lateral, I shouldn't have had my popcorn moment right there from the longest yard.
Hey, he keeps this kind of shit up. We're going to change his nickname from Uncle Rico to Brucey.
Brucey? Why can't I be quarterback? That's right. Now sit down and shut up. All right, he threw that interception at the end of the fourth quarter. We talked about that. End of the game. His passing rating was 95.1, but his quarterback rating was at 29.8 right there. And if you go,
QBR. I'm sorry.
The QBR. If you do the comparison between the two starting quarterbacks in this past game, Raiders and Chargers, statistically wise, Gardner Minshew had slightly better numbers statistically wise, but the action on the field, as Twan said,
Check down King. Check down King's the only reason why.
Check down. He'd be the only one in poker. Check. Sir, you have to put some money in. Check.
Call. Check. Call. I can raise every once in a while.
But he's going to start week 2 versus the Ravens. So we're just having a little fun. We haven't lost our, I don't know, do we want to say confidence? We still have a belief factor.
No. We haven't lost our confidence. We'll use the word confidence. We haven't lost it, but it might be shaking a little bit.
It might be a little shaking a little bit. It's kind of like, you know what, just because the check engine light's on, now my car's going to make it. No, it's just working its way through. No, just don't worry about it, okay? You just don't hit the gas so hard, okay? Just ease up on it. And if we're going downhill,
ease into the gas pedal.
Ease it in. If we're going downhill, put it in neutral, okay, to save the engine, all right? Put it in neutral and ride the brake. Okay, so, but we still believe. The belief factor, the meter went a little low, but we're still above the middle. We'll see what happens. Hondo said in his on his podcast that, you know, it's all about the adjustments from game 1 to game 2 and see what they can do. And it's not gonna, it's not gonna help that they're going.
And he also said a lot of the professionals, whatever you want to call them, the coaches, GMs and everything, say the biggest jump in the season, in the whole season, comes from between week 1 and week 2.
Yes.
I'm giving him till week 3. If he looks this way against the goddamn Panthers, then I'm going to be calling for his head.
Funny how the quarterback who played against the Panthers, some people are like,
Some people are saying, do you miss me yet?
Reunited and okay, stop.
Hey, maybe we should talk to somebody who decided to make a trade, and maybe we should just do the trade the other way and bring that said person back.
That's not the car I was describing. All right, so but
no, you were talking about one with the bad engine.
With the bad engine, that they were the Raiders, like our brakes work and our safety level is high. We're just trying to move the vehicle, and that's the offense, is the engine. Just trying to figure out what piston isn't hitting. Trying to figure out.
We're just trying to make it back into the driveway, right? That's all we're trying to get back to the driveway so we can look at it and figure it out.
Unfortunately, though, we're on the road, so we have to go on the road first before we come back home. So we got to make sure we make to point B, Baltimore, and come back to A, Allegiant A. And then we'll go from there. Like I did that right there. But like we were talking about earlier, the rushing offense with the offensive line, the offensive line needs to step it up too, because everything starts really with the blocking in the offensive line. And if you can't even get the run game going because of the offensive line, the passing game, unless you can find quick passes or some kind of way to have the pass open up the run, and like Twan said earlier, to bring the people out or the safeties and the linebackers back out of the box, then we might have to go that route. Pass opens the run. We have too much talent on the
pass. They work hand in hand. I mean, everyone wants to go. You have the people who believe, the pass opens up the run, and that's it. Then you got the people who think the run opens up the pass, and that's it. But it's not. They work hand in hand. If you don't get one going, the other one's not going to be able to go, because you're now one-dimensional, and it's a lot easier for a defense to go up against a team that's being one-dimensional than it is that has an offense that's hitting on all cylinders.
Yes. So,
another car reference, engine cylinders.
Oh, wait. The car reference, is that what we're missing? I'm sorry.
Is that what we're missing? Is just a card?
We're just missing the card? No. We're going to start losing people like, oh, how dare they go back in time? Okay, we don't want to talk about that.
How dare you say that?
We don't want to talk about that. So, the Raiders right here, the rushing offense, the running backs, whether it's Zamir White, Zeus, getting his pad level lower, just hit the middle of the hole, just hit the hole hard, take someone with you to 5 yards past line of scrimmage or whatever. I don't want to say we came out timid, and I don't want to say we came out confused. We just didn't come out with like that intensity, with that aggression, with that you're gonna know where we're going, you're gonna know what play we're running, but we're just gonna run it and we're gonna do it with attitude.
We came out like it was a preseason game. It really was. It was just everybody trying to get back into the rhythm of everything going. You call it preseason week 1. I mean, we saw plenty of other teams lose that shouldn't have lost, such like Cincinnati to New England. We saw a bunch of that shit. These players are getting back into the groove. Some of them didn't play a lot. Some of them played a lot and going. And it's just it's a gelling thing. The first 4 weeks of the season is teams doing this a lot. The good teams have it together already and are going to dominate this point, and that's why they're always going to be in the talk for the playoffs and everything else. The teams that are working on the little things, they're going to come together, and when they do, that's when they become dangerous. And it's going to take a few games in order for players to start gelling together, to the offensive line to start realizing, oh shit, this is my block, this is going. I know that if I could do this, that going, just work together. Know that they could trust the person next to them. The running backs are going to come.
You froze. Not froze, but you stopped. That's what happened.
No, I was taking a breath. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
But no, okay. The running backs are going to learn what the offensive line could do and where their holes are or where they're going to be, and realize, okay, if that hole's not going to be there like I thought it was going to be, because this guy going to his right is not as good as if he's going to his left.
Yeah.
So I know I need to cut right here, to find the hole instead of, it's going to take a minute. Even though we are Team Ramrod, I want to see Minshew succeed. I don't want to fucking see him, crap the bed, go down, put us in a hole, and then have to have Aiden O'Connell come out and try to, get us beyond everything. And then when it doesn't happen because we went 6 games, before switching, 0-6, and then he's, then people are shitting on O'Connell because he couldn't get the job done because he needed to win every game after that to make the playoffs. I want to see this.
I mean, maybe O'Connell can do it because that's what basically happened last year when he came in with 9 games left on the season, and we finished 5-4 on that one. I'm just trying to get.
He went
5-4. 5-4 on that one. I'm just trying to find a Okay, open. Oh, see, I'm glad. Nothing. I was going to load something. Okay, so I had mentioned during the highlights that
we have some breaking news.
We do?
Well, yeah.
No.
Breaking news. Nobody else knows about it. Nobody else.
I know. It's not breaking news. It's going to be. No, it's not breaking news. It's Know Your History, okay? Or Smarten Up. I didn't know which one to pick. So let's do them both. Let's do. No, I just put it. It's the last video up right now. Know Your History. Play that one right there.
The last one.
And all you Raiders out there need to know your fucking history.
Sorry, I guess that was the wrong intro. But it's still Know Your History before the draft logo came on. And also Smarten Up. So we're doing a little history thing right here.
I still think we should do the breaking news because, with James Earl Jones just recently passing, by the way, RIP.
RIP.
Okay,
we'll do it. Go ahead. Go ahead, play it.
This is CMN, a cage match news update.
I just want to thank James Earl Jones for doing
that. And like we said, shouts out to James Earl Jones. He passed away on Monday. Iconic voice with Mufasa. And of course, Raider Nation's favorite character, Darth Vader. So we
amongst other things, he did other movies too, but that's basically what people know him from.
Yes, and
CNN. He was in Sandlot. Don't forget, he was in Sandlot.
He was in Sandlot, and he was in Coming to America. Okay, Akeem. Rest in peace, James Earl Jones. Thank you for the voice, and we'll see you in the clouds as you tell us, Simba, know yourself, or whatever the phrase is. Okay. You are the one true king. Raiders. Hold on. Can I do it?
Wait.
Raiders. Oh, that's not it. Wait. Raiders. Oh, that's not it. Okay.
Raiders, you are the one true king. Understand yourself and let's go out there and win, okay? But anyways, what we're talking about is this right here. History was made. Max Crosby on that sack he had in the first quarter. Max Crosby is now tied 4th all time in the Raiders franchise sack leader. Huh?
With Raider Bears' favorite player.
Raider Bears' favorite player, Bill Pickle. With 53 sacks in 84 games. You see right here, the sack leader overall for the Raiders is Greg Townsend with 107.5 sacks in 174 games. He was a Raider between 83 and 93, so he has a Super Bowl ring with that 2018. With that Super Bowl, with that Super Bowl 18. I'm trying to throw all these numbers out, okay? With the Super Bowl 18 victory, him and Howie Long both have rings on that Super Bowl. But he ranks number 1, and he did come back to play as an Oakland Raider in 1997 for one season. Howie Long, 84 sacks. Number 2 on the Raiders list with 163 games between 81 and 93. Anthony Smith, drafted in 1990 and came with the team back to Oakland and played until 1997. He started on the list with 57.5 sacks. Bill Pickle, who was also a big member of that Super Bowl team in 1983. He had 53 sacks total in 121 games as a Raider, and Max Crosby moving on up into the top 5, tied with 4 with 53 sacks. 84 games total in his career as a Raider and total in his career from an Oakland Raider 2019 on to now, which means most likely, I'm going to call it, even though it is Lamar Jackson, he will come in and become number 4 on that list. So here's a little history lesson right then and there. Max Crosby moves up the rankings and is now tied for 4th as the Raiders franchise sack leader. There you go right there. Congratulations, Max Crosby, on that. A little sack nugget right then and there. Here we go. So there you go right there, Max Crosby. And, insane plays, man. He plays insane, right?
So they say.
So, yeah. You know why? Because he has W. Make sure you go to WGG and 10% off your order. Cage match, one word, in the discount code. You see what I did there? That's how you advertise.
He gets his 10% because he puts cage match in the damn discount code.
And he gets his W on. Get your W on air. Okay, so like I was saying, insane players make insane plays. Now, there wasn't really too many plays. But Asylum, he found something that he thought, and he'll explain why. So you got your intro ready, right?
Yeah. Ready?
Well, hold on. Let me introduce it, and then I'll tell you. So, wait till the ball snapped, okay?
Hey, I'm ready to go.
Play clock. Play clock. Play clock. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So, with that said, let's reintroduce, bring it back now with the new season. Asylum's insane playmakers. Let's go.
Asylum's insane playmakers.
Okay,
All right,
so
go
we
ahead.
all know, go ahead. I was going to say, we all know what this is leading to. That big fight that happened at the end of the game right here. I love that split screen right there. We need to do more of that. You know, that guy, Jack Jones, and a Chargers player ejected. You have Max Crosby coming up in there. Look, he's throwing guys to the ground. He's protecting his guys. And then right there, what more could you ask for? Bam, even squared up. Christian Wilkins coming in, first game as a fucking Raider. And then what do you see? Not only is he protecting his guys, but he squared up right there, ready to throw down, like, you know, like they weren't even wearing helmets and shit. He was ready to break that motherfucker's jaw right there. That is a you know, the Raider way, the true Raider. Not a lot of people understand what it takes to be a Raider. Now, it's not just a place on the field, but it's right there, having that Raider mentality, which is, if you're going to square up, I'm going to fucking take you out. And he squared up and ready to take the dude out. And I think he would have broke his jaw through that fucking helmet if he had to throw that punch.
That goes back to the old Raiders, like you were saying, like in Alzado. Even Howie Long got some fists thrown in there, all the way back to Davidson, Matt Millen. Like I said, Davidson, when he went after Len Dawson and the you know, on that Chiefs game. So, and if they're gonna say this is the new age, this is not how it's supposed to be, and they gotta say everything right because they don't want to, you know, I guess, you know, with the violence or whatever, I don't know, whatever. But with that said, this was how the Raider way went. So in a way, the Raiders played that Raider way. If I'm not going to beat you on the score, I'm going to beat you on the field. How John Madden said, even if win or lose, the other team did not go out dancing that night. And the Raiders, hey, we already lost this game. Let's go with the fist. You might have lost the game on the scoreboard, but we're going to win this fight on the field.
I might have to make that right there, my wallpaper on my phone or whatever. I mean, just look at him squared up. He ain't hesitating to fucking. If dude stepped, he was about to take a fucking shot like it was from Mike Tyson right there.
Yeah, and he stood up like, let's go. Everybody else has to go, you know, in headbutt or whatever because in order to protect. But he's like, let's go. I'll punch you underneath that chin mask. Face mask in the chin.
Man, we saw the fight between Crabtree and Aqib Talib. Yeah. And it wasn't even close to that right there. I mean, I give Crabtree his due because he was punching at a motherfucker that was still in his helmet. But, I mean, that square up right there, even Crabtree didn't do that shit.
And you see him, and I want to go back to this part right here because you see right here. Oh, wait. So hold on. Wait. I want to go back to this part right here when he entered that fight. So you see right here. So here you go, Jack Jones and Epps right there. They're fighting. But here comes coming out into the ring, and he goes and takes him down to the ground. And here we go, the Royal Rumble right there. He went and drove him down like a sled.
Hey, that ref saved 81. That's all I got to say. There might have been 2 ejections that game, and one would have been with a knockout.
With a knockout. Like they say in that line in Goodfellas, my favorite line in Goodfellas, when Henry was getting taken into jail, he went over there, got into the limousine. All right, now take me to jail. Let me go suck in the face. All right, now eject them, going out. Just like it's in our opening credits. Like what's his name? The defensive end from the Page or Seymour, like Richard Seymour, when he went and socked Ben Roethlisberger threw the face mask in the face and knocked him down. You're out this game, sir. All right, well, welcome to the Raiders, Christian Wilkins. You are now been anointed as a Raider right there on your first game. You didn't sit back and just whatever. You went in there and you followed your homie, the tag team duo of Max Crosby. Right there, Max Crosby with Wilkins. And you went and drove him down like a sled in the middle of the practice field. And you squared up like, let's go. Right then and there, we're ready for the rematch going in at the end of the season. It could be like 2021, where it could be a playoff berth in the making right there. That is Asylum's insane playmakers right there. Asylum, I'll send you that picture so that can be your new background on this show.
I think I might have it. I think somebody might have sent it to me. I'll let you know.
Right.
I was talking about it when it happened. Him squaring up, like, I mean, just look at that. Those hands are ready to fly.
They're ready. They're ready right there. So
I mean, that's not Las Vegas Raiders right there. That was straight Oakland Raider right there.
That was Oakland Raider right there. Bringing that Raider way back to the Raiders into Las Vegas. That's how it's supposed to be, with that attitude. And I'm not saying go over there to Baltimore and let's start sucking people. All I'm saying is bring that attitude over there. Take this loss. Yeah, see what you did wrong and everything, but just put it away. Go into this next upcoming game on the road. Take care of business right then and there with that attitude that we're not going to get knocked down like we were on the field-wise, playing-wise against the Chargers, that we're going to be up there taking every hit you're going to give us, and we're going to come back with that counter punch, that blow to the chin, and take that W in Baltimore. We just got to be disciplined, meaning, or not discipline, but I mean like with our blocking, we got to make sure that we are on point with our blocking. And we also have to spell the defense, because the defense, they did their thing this past Sunday against the Chargers in SoFi, but they
go back. We're disciplined. You go back to that one graphic. How many penalties did we have for the game?
We had 2 for 15. I meant to say like assignment discipline, like no.
I'm just saying, but we're disciplined because we all know Raiders of old, that number would have been a hell of a lot higher, especially with the offensive line playing like they did.
Yes.
We didn't get a single holding call.
No, we just had that offsides on defense, and then we had
the holding call on Banger.
Yeah, that phantom call.
The phantom call, where there was a horse collar, face mask, whatever you want to call it, on Samir White at the time that did not get called.
Yeah.
All right, Yvonne. Okay, I'm going to ask this. You need a QB with some dog in him. Who's the QB you're talking about then? Who out there, either on the team or not on the team, is it that you want that has the dog in them that you see?
Brian Hoyer. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong show.
BBG's got dog in the Red Rocket part, but it's okay.
Wow. Maybe. I mean, the only other person that's out there really is Ryan Tannehill, but he's a game manager. Hand off the ball to Derrick Henry. Do we have a Derrick Henry on the team? That type of running back hasn't fully surfaced yet, but Zeus can be that guy. Just got to work on his pad level, bring it low. But
I
don't have one.
I think the dog that we have is Aiden O'Connell. He just needs his chance. He's biding his time. All I saw was nothing but improvement from him last season. I don't think he lost the starting job. There was whatever reason AP chose Minshew, and I have my speculations. I've said it on multiple shows and everything going. I think the dog we have is Aiden O'Connell. He's done nothing but fight since he started his football career, and that goes into college, high school. He's done nothing but fight, and you want a dog knows how to fight.
Yeah, and like you don't want to keep dwelling on this game.
No.
Because
as Andy said, it's time to move on to the next game. It's Wednesday. We're talking about it because this is when our show comes on to talk about, what's going on. And that's the only reason. I'm glad we have calmer heads. We're not in our emotions like everybody was, Sunday, Monday. There was a lot of shows, other podcasts you see where a lot of people were just talking out of emotion and not being able to answer the questions like I asked Devon there. You have what you want, but who is it that's going to go? Captain Jack show, right? Somebody talked about Getsy. Well, who would you get to replace him? Well, I don't have that answer.
I don't get paid to make those decisions, is what the exact quote was. We want to put our problems, but we don't have solutions. And for Devon, there isn't really, unless we throw O'Connell and see what he can do. There's really our only two options. And unless we find somebody on the street.
We just heard on another podcast, somebody put a trade idea out there, which I don't think will ever happen, which was a trading Devontae Adams for a Michael Penix. You're going to have to try to do a trade, but you're not going to get a quarterback. I mean, even I've read numerous articles talking about trading with the Giants for Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. Yeah, okay. Let's go with all the...
I bet you could have done better than Minshew did that first game.
I believe in Anna. She knows enough Raider history to know how the quarterback play is supposed to go. Grit and with plays down the field that Raider way. But let's go into the standings right here. Now, we're going to go into the NFL scores after this. But as of right now, and this is where I get the picture from, so it's not about the percentages, but the Chargers and the Chiefs are tied for first in the AFC West. The Chiefs beating the Ravens on that Thursday night season opener. And no Mac Jones, thank you. Right there. And the Chargers, of course, us.
What I read, okay? Other people read it too. I didn't say go for him. What did I say? We're Team O'Connell.
Team O'Connell. Team Ramrod. And then of course we lose to the Chargers, so we are 0-1 in the division. In Denver, with Bo next to answer. I'm just joking. They lose to Seattle.
It's not going to help them at all.
Let's go through the scores right now around the NFL right here. You know what? I want some music. Can you please play Prime Part 2, please?
I knew where you were going with that. You didn't even say the name.
I don't have highlights, but we're just going to go through the scores of this past NFL Week 1 weekend. The Ravens and the Chiefs open up the season with a 27-20 victory for the Kansas Swiftie Chiefs. That's what I call them now. You know, that's what they are. By a toenail, the Ravens lose.
Now, do you think it was a good idea for Patrick Mahomes to give the advice that he did? Too likely.
What was the advice again?
He told him to wear white shoes.
Oh, yeah, don't do that because look what happened. That's not the Raider way. Is to go opposite of what they're supposed to do. Whatever. You know, I thought they were able to hold blockers with that Hall of Fame offensive line. Friday night, the NFL went all the way down into Brazil with safety warnings for the two teams. Packers lose to the Eagles 34-29 in that game,
and lost Jordan Love.
Lost for how long? It's for the season or just for a few games?
No. It's not the season. I think it's 4 to 6 weeks, something like that. He has a sprained, not MCL, PCL.
He has a sprained MCI, friends and family. And old school. Josh Jacobs had a decent game, but he also had a fumble because everyone's going to be watching those stats. What could we have?
Yet again, he didn't have a decent game until it got into garbage time and the game was over. And the defense had been on, he came on late in the game. Early in the game, he had only 44 yards.
All right, go. Oh, tell what?
Till the fourth quarter.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. All right, going into Sunday's games, Steelers beat the Falcons. They were all over Kirk Cousins. So trading for a Penix, they probably wouldn't do that because they see how they might need him if their offensive line for the Falcons plays that they played, and Kirk Cousins with all that money plays like he played, they might see Penix going out there in a Falcons uniform because he's with the Falcons. Now anybody else trying to trade for him to take over Cousins, so maybe Cousins might be free. I don't know. Cardinals beat the Bills 34-28. The Bears on a wild game all over the place. They beat the Titans 24-17. I believe the Titans are missing Derrick Henry in that game. The Patriots shocked the Bengals 16-10.
Tannehill started the season last year and they went to Will Levis.
And Will Levis looked like Caleb Williams. No, not Caleb Williams. Yeah, Caleb Williams, right? Is with the Bears. I always get the first two mixed up. Yeah. So, it just was Keystone Cops out there. All right. Like I said, the Patriots stunned the Bengals 16-10. Because
right there.
Upset right there. If you have money on that, I know you made money. That's a sign right there, like an example of even the good teams lose in the first game of the first week of the season. So we just got to see the adjustments the Raiders make, because the Bengals can lose to the lowly Patriots with the new head coach in Gerard Mayo and whatever the two quarterbacks they drafted. They're trying to go. They're just trying to follow that Niners playbook.
Drake May and Milton.
Drake May and Milton. Speaking of, that's Mixon. Never mind. The Texans beat the Colts. It was a close-ish kind of game, but I like to thank Stephon Diggs for his 2 touchdowns and Mixon for his 3 touchdowns on my fantasy team. I was going to say that game won me points, and I beat the opponent on my league. I saw him take over for your league, or take over.
I destroyed the guy on my league. I'm in a league, and there's a few other podcasts on there, and I was playing one of the other podcasters out there, and I destroyed him with the help of Mixon. I had help all the way around. I only had 2 guys give me bad points, and trust me, I didn't need them.
All right, the next game, Dolphins beat the Jaguars. It was semi-close, but the Dolphins win. But that game was overshadowed by what happened to Tyreek Hill the day before.
But I got to give him the credit for what happened, and then turn around and get that touchdown celebration when he did for his celebration. I like that. It worked out.
It worked out. He had that long touchdown down the field. Vindication. Well, I'm just saying as an athlete, not for whatever happened outside on the streets of Miami with whatever. So that's for another show to talk about whatever happened on that. But the Panthers get destroyed by the Saints, which is also a big topic within Raider Nation. Folks who didn't lose faith in the quarterback that plays for the Saints currently were all like, well,
what's his name though?
What? I think his name is it's Carr. Derek Carr destroys the Saints and that defense for the Saints, and we kept saying if Derek Carr had a defense, but that's a whole nother discussion. People, for some reason, it's a hate, love, hate, love, hate, whatever.
Yeah. Hey, that was split down the middle. Half the Raider Nation loves him, half the Raider Nation hates him.
Yeah, but he plays against the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas this coming Sunday, so we'll see what happens there. I got NFL Sunday ticket by accident. I forgot to cancel it, so I will be watching all those games, especially for my fantasy team. The Vikings take care of business, and they beat the Giants 28-6.
Sam Darnold, of all quarterbacks, came out and did what he needed to do and handled that game.
He wanted to show folks, because he was on the Niners last year, that I can still be a starting quarterback in this league. He takes the Vikings 28-6 against the Giants on the road. Of course, we talked about it. The Raiders lose to the Chargers 22-10, and we're not going to keep beating that horse. We don't have. Speaking of horses, the Seahawks, old school AFC West rivals back in the day, before the league realignment, the Seahawks beat the Broncos 26-20. It shouldn't have been that close, but it was. Broncos starting Bo Nix. It was a back and forth.
Smith.
Say that again.
I said Bo Nix against Geno Smith. I had the Seahawks defense, and the Seahawks defense actually played pretty well.
How many people have any of those two quarterbacks on their fantasy team, Bo Nix or
the league I'm in, the guy I played had Bo Nix as his backup, but he just dropped him today.
I had Minshew as my backup, but we'll see what happens.
So did I. I had Minshew as my backup.
My starting quarterback right now is, damn it, it's Lamar Jackson. Oh man!
Hey, I don't have to worry about it. My starting quarterback, Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels, the rookie in Washington. But
I took that chance.
Cowboys.
He didn't do me bad.
Dak, with the new contract, highest paid player in NFL history, comes back in week 1, takes care of the Browns, 33-17 on the road. So we'll see how that goes. The two number 4s that everybody hates within their own fan base, Raiders with Derek Carr, who hates Derek Carr, and all the Cowboy fans who wanted to get rid of Dak. Some people in Raider Nation wants Dak. That right there, what he did, showed, okay, why they do, but we'll see what happens. The Saints' good defense versus the Cowboys' good defense. 4 versus 4 in Dallas this coming Sunday. And the last Sunday game during the day, Commanders...
Wait, never mind. During the day. You said it right.
During the day, Commanders lose to the Buccaneers 37-20. Baker Mayfield, now the official starting quarterback. Is what?
Baker Mayfield went out there and earned his contract.
Baker Mayfield earned
it. Destroyed.
He said, Baker Mayfield, old Cleveland Brown. How do they feel over there? I don't know. I don't care. Dog pound. I don't care. Sunday Night Football, the Rams lose to the Lions. That was a close game. So our good friend...
That was probably the best game of the week right there.
Yes, and Amik Robertson, who is now with the Lions, he gets a victory on that defense. I believe he's a starter. I saw him a lot in that game as much as I tried to watch that game. We went to overtime, and the Lions took care of business to beat the Rams, who everyone who everyone says can be a factor in the NFC West. And of course, Monday Night Football saw the Niners take care of business versus the Jets. Aaron Rodgers did not get knocked out of the game by the grass this time. He survived.
I was going to say, I really think the Jets won that game because Aaron Rodgers made it all the way through.
He made it, well, until garbage time. They took him out. They said, nope.
Hey, he made it through. He didn't get hurt. Jets actually won that game. Not the Niners.
Moral victories here, baby. Just remember, I was going to say, how many over there in their fantasy team had CMC as their starting running back to find out, he's not going to play because he has Achilles issues. They're a little tight calves and all that, so we're not going to play him. I heard a rumor that the Niners might get fined for withholding that kind of information that late.
No, they're not. I just read an article that said the NFL is not going to investigate them for that.
Oh, of course, because it's the Niners, It plays until their script, right? I'm just joking. I'm not trying to be one of those people.
The funny thing is, I had the running back who played in that game for the Niners. I had him sitting on my bench.
And how many points did he get in your fantasy?
22.6, I believe.
See, there are stars out there, the diamonds in the rough. You just gotta keep looking. And
I use that to my advantage and traded them.
Trade bait.
I
So
traded him, and I got somebody who's more, who's going to definitely get more time, and is a more reliable when it comes to fantasy points running back than said person who got big points on my bench.
yeah, that's how fantasy goes. You know, it's the most stressful time of year. Not only being a Raider fan, but also because a lot of us are in fantasy because there's money involved. You know, there's money involved.
I missed one. I missed
So,
my money league.
well, it depends. Money or pride. If it's family or whatever friends, it's either money or pride, and you know, those are the big incentives why we go through what we go through when it comes to fantasy football. Now I'm gonna be like, do I start Lamar Jackson or do I find another? Does that make me
Who's your backup? Minshew still?
Minshew?
Now it depends on who's on the waiver wire.
Dak Prescott, let's go. Derek Carr. I'm gonna get Derek Carr. Is he still available? Oh yes, you know, matchups matter is what they keep saying online. Matchups matter.
They do. When it comes to fantasy football, garbage time and matchups are the two biggest things. I've had a quarterback win me many of fucking games and championships just because he got a lot of garbage time and was able to throw the ball.
Yep. So, which means even in garbage time, you can still find points. We'll call it recycling. Okay. Recycling.
Okay,
It's
I
like
that.
garbage time. With that, I believe that is everything that we have to showcase for this episode. We will come back on Friday. That's an hour show to talk about the game, the injury report, because we do know that Kuntz is going to be out for at least 4 games. He has to be on the injured reserve list. Yep. So that's the 4-game minimum, and also Tyree Wilson. I don't think he was placed under yet, but
no, he's not on IR, but I believe he's supposed to miss this game. It's a significant injury that possibly could lead to IR. We don't know what's going on yet, so I believe he's a game by game situation.
Yes, and the Raiders did sign a defensive end off the street. Clavon Chasson and quarterback Caillou Blue Kelly. What the heck? What's the Blu-ray? Caillou
corner or quarter?
No, what? Corner. Defense, okay. Cornerback. Caillou Blue Kelly to the practice squad with defensive end Clavon Chasson, who was, I believe, a number 1 pick by the Jaguars a few years back. I believe that's the guy, right?
2020, I believe.
2020 COVID year. So we will talk about those players on the Friday show as we get ready for the matchup between the Raiders and the Ravens this Sunday on the road, right there. So
anybody listening, hold on. We got magnets with the schedule on it right here. Anyone listening can contact either one of us. We'll send you a magnet with the schedule on it.
Yes, we have magnets. Go to the website. Not yet. Go to the email page, thecagematchshow@gmail.com. If you would like a magnet sent to you, because we're bringing it back, old school. Remember in the back in the days at the Coliseum when you would just sign for a whatever. Oh no. Well, there was the newspaper and the credit card offers. You just get it for the blanket or for the whatever the free prize are giving out. Then you cancel it right after you get your free prize. So we're bringing that back. Like the Coliseum is to give out the magnets for the schedules. So we're bringing that back. And if you want, and Anna, I'm putting your package together. You're gonna get more than just the magnets. I gotta send you a whole thing. My sister's still working on that gift, so I might send that to you separate. But I want to get the schedule out and other stuff for you, Anna, on that right there. I saw them put it up. The cage match. You spelled that wrong. The Cage Match Show. The Cage Match Show at gmail.com. You type too fast. So with that, Asylum.
Hold on. I'm fixing it. Hold on.
I don't mean to be that guy, but
No. Hold on. It matters though. So
email matters, okay? Here, let me get the I'll do it right here.
that one is right.
The banner. The Cage Match. See how we do in game. How we do in game.
Omaha.
Email at the Cage Match Show at
There we go.
gmail.com. Make sure I spelled that right. So add banner. There you go. Right there. The Cage Match Show at gmail.com.
You that right.
I did, I think. Cage
Yeah,
Myth.
did.
The Cage Myth Show. Snow Show. All right. With that said, we want to thank everybody for coming on for watching this episode as we talk about. Let's not panic, okay? Let's see what happens in game number 2. We'll make the mark the home opener against the Carolina Panthers, and that's if we look like what we did yesterday or Sunday, then we can be like, all right, who's got to go because I'm tired of this for another season. So let's relax and see what we do against the Ravens because that's going to be a tough matchup at going across country also alone, but we'll see what happens. We'll talk about that on Friday. Thank you to RaiderTwuan. He is live right now on his channel. I take that banner off. My bad. Take the Cage Match email off.
I got it.
Thank you very much. Go to RaiderTwuan. Thank you very much, RaiderTwuan, for coming on as the first hour guest. His podcast, 241 Nation podcast, but his channel is RaiderTwuan on YouTube. I have it right here, RaiderTwuan. So go there and subscribe to him. And also, because we want to shout out some friends. Wait, I'm trying to go through all these things. Also, he's in the comments. Subscribe to Chalk Talk with Coach D on YouTube. He does his show during the games where him and his
his dad.
What Devon and his father, they break down the games during the game. So make sure you go there, subscribe to there. And also, if he's coming on live, I'm not 100% sure, but go to Section 105 Media Network on YouTube. Shout out to Raider Homer for his show, Sal on the Sideline. Check those videos out. Check those out with Raider Homer and Raider Will, breaking down Raider film. Section 105 Media Network on YouTube. Go and watch that show. Sideline to sideline right then and there. Asylum, any last things that you want to, or any last words, I guess?
No, I think I said my piece. I think I beat my horse to death. And let's get to Friday and bring up the Ravens game.
Let's talk about that on Friday. With that said, we're going to say goodnight to Wednesday. Tomorrow night's Thursday night game is, I don't know. So make sure you get your fantasy teams ready.
And oh, God damn it. I know the Bills for a fact.
So make sure that you focus on your Bills and get that paid off. Make sure your fantasy teams are set up for tomorrow night. I got to make sure I do that too because I hate Thursday night games and I forget.
With
that said, we want to say thank you. Join us on Friday as we break down the Ravens game. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, everyone who was.
It's Bills and Dolphins. Sorry.
Bills and Dolphins.
Yes.
AFC East matchup. Bills and Dolphins. I want to thank Anna Diaz for continuing her streak on the show. And I forgot to say it earlier. Asylum with his Jim Otto streak, the only man to be on every episode. And we had many guests and also many, whatever we called, hosts. Me, Raider Man, you. So,
Peggy. Don't forget Peggy. She's a host.
Peggy will be back next week on Wednesday. She should be. Yeah. She has a throne in the cage match ring. So right there, staple in the ring. Staple in the ring. I like that right there.
You want to be called? You want to be called top dog? You got to beat Peggy.
You got to get through Peggy because, like AP says, he controls the gates to Raider Nation. Peggy controls the gates to the cage match right there. Like I did that right there. All right, with that, say good night, everybody. Take care. We'll see you guys on Friday to break down the Ravens. The season is here. As much as that game didn't look all that great, we still got 16 more games to go. All right. Like we do before we end every show, we're gonna do a word from Raider Milt, aka for me, Coach Wallace from my old high school. Rest in peace. We keep your fire alive. We keep your spirit alive, Raider Milt. And we end the show like that. Thank you very much, Raider Nation. Thank you very much for Asylum. Thank you very much, and good night.
All you other NFL teams, your tailgates are weak. Your teams are weak. We might be down right now, but it doesn't take away the history. And all you Raiders out there need to know your fucking history of who the fuck you playing for and where the fuck you're playing. Damn it. Oh, and by the way, I won my last cage fight. Again, I'm still undefeated. And you NFL motherfuckers out there that you think you want some, come on and get some anytime.